Image Comics. So Image Comics has been around for a long time. It's actually my personal favorite comic book company. They make Invincible. They make so many amazing comics and have a great universe. And we're starting to finally start getting some movies. We have a television show, obviously, in the animated Invincible show. We were supposed to be getting some other shows and things like that from the Image universe, or movies we should be getting from famous comics. But one of the most famous characters within that universe, one of the most famous superheroes in the world, and that's not Marvel or DC, is Spawn. Right, so Spawn is a character that had a movie way back in the 90s. I like that movie still, even though it does not hold up at all. The VFX is terrible. The lines are cheesy. Everything you can name it, but I love the movie still, and it had an awesome animated series that you can watch on Amazon Prime right now. But Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, has been working on this project for a long time, and he finally shown the finished script for King Spawn. On the left is the volume of the comic if you want to check it out before the movie comes out, which is supposed to be coming out next year. On the right is the picture that Seth MacFarlane, no, it's not Seth MacFarlane, so Todd McFarlane shared in order to show that this movie is being announced. So Todd McFarlane's long-awaited Spawn movie will be titled King Spawn, the comic book legend revealed today on social media. The announcement comes in form of a script cover, which suggests the script is finally finished and production could start soon. Todd McFarlane announced the film in 2016. Jamie Foxx was attached to star in 2017, and Blumhouse came on in 2019. However, COVID, script changes, and writer strike has delayed the project. So this movie has been long announced, long gestated. Obviously, it came out in 2016. It's now supposed to be coming out in 2025. That's almost 10 years. It was announced before Blade was announced. You know what I'm saying? And Jamie Foxx has been attached to it for a long time. A lot has even happened to him since then. The original story for this movie was supposed to be a low budget indie horror film with Spawn, where the two of the characters that are from the comic, Sam and I forgot what the other character name, or two cops, they're usually chasing around Spawn, and they see him as like a horror villain when he's taking out these bad guys, which I thought was an interesting idea. But Todd McFarlane was able to secure Jamie Foxx to lead the role, which obviously Jamie Foxx is a big actor, he's a movie star. And then Jeremy Renner is also attached to be in this movie as well. So he was like, well, I can't make this small indie movie I want to make because we have these two bigger in life kind of actors in it. We have to make something bigger. So the plot is going to be a little different. The name has been changed. And for a lot of people, you might not know who Spawn is. So who is Spawn? Albert Francis, or Al Simmons, better known as Spawn, is a mercenary who died and went to hell for his crimes against humanity. Following a deal with Malaboliga, I don't know how to say that name, Simmons is given a new life as a Hellspawn and chance to see his wife, Wanda, once again. The deal is revealed to be a trick, as Simmons is brought back to life 5 years after his death, unrecognizable to his wife and missing many of his memories. With little other choices, Simmons adopts his new hellish identity as Spawn in an effort to atone for his past sins and use his newfound powers for good. Spawn is an R-rated comic. It's a controversial comic because it deals with religion and hell and having spirits, demons, and things like that, and doesn't hold back on what Spawn can do. He's done some crazy things in the comics, but they're specifically focusing on King Spawn. King Spawn is the name for a comic series launched in August of 2021, the first ongoing story from the expanded Spawn universe, because they started expanding the story because the solo comic sells so well. Following the original series launched in 1992. It was written by Sean Lewis and primary artist Javier Fernandez. The story King Spawn takes on the larger mythos of the war between heaven and hell, as Spawn is caught up in the prophecy of King Spawn and the thrones of hell. It allows Spawn comic series creator Todd McFarlane to bring together years of larger mythos of Spawn series, the Throne of Hell, God Throne, Dead Zones, Wanda Blake's death, into a grand epic tale of Al Simmons Spawn having to decide where he stands in the war between the ultimate good and evil from his position considerable power as leader. So a little bit of information about that, right? So that sounds like a big budget, maybe 2-hour epic film that possibly can be created. That sounds very, very interesting. A little bit more details is that a villain that Spawn faces off often, that comes from hell, comes to Earth, leaves the throne of hell, and comes messing with things with Earth, and he has to go down there and make sure a bunch of more hell demons don't come to Earth while this guy's up there, and he takes over the throne. So I feel like that could be a very interesting thing for him to go down there. I'm very curious how they're going to approach this, though, because like I said, this is a character who hasn't had a movie or a television show in a couple decades, and a lot of people going to this movie are not going to know who Spawn is. So how are they going to do the origin plus this storyline for the character and mix it together without it being convoluted or things feeling cheap change? That's the most interesting part. But I'm super, super excited for this movie. I think the comic book genre does need Image and Dark Horse and all these other smaller indie comics to get into the game so we can get different stories. And I talk a lot about franchise or momentum in terms of cinema. And I feel like with the comic book genre right now, we're getting Venom, which is like PG-13 but kind of R-rated. We're getting Deadpool and Wolverine, obviously, which is going to be R-rated. It's going to be a big hit. It feels like it's going to be automatically a big hit. We're going to be getting Joker, which is R-rated. We're going to be getting Blade, which is R-rated. So I think this is a perfect time for R-rated Spawn to come out and build and latch on to that momentum, that R-rated comic book momentum. What do you guys think in the comments down below about the Spawn movie? What do you think about Blumhouse being attached to it? I'm a little worried because Blumhouse, when they first started out, was doing some really solid movies. Now they're kind of doing some really cheap, crappy horror. So I'm hoping they put a little bit of a bigger budget into this film and give it a little bit more love and care. But how do you guys feel about Blumhouse being attached, Jamie Foxx starring, and the movie going into production and possibly coming out in 2025? Are you a Spawn fan? Drop all those comments down below. Let me know. If you're in the live chat, stay tuned.